Hey, what's going on, everyone? For those of you who were, I'm sorry, for those of you who were waiting on me there, yeah, there was just some. The computer had to reboot itself. It wanted to reboot itself, and fortunately, it did so faster today than it's done before. So last week, I took the week off, and that was in large part to troubleshoot this computer and to get the last amount of productivity out of it that I can before having to potentially get a new one because Microsoft is going to push Windows 11. So, long story short, if your computer has too many temporary files in it, then your computer's not going to be happy and it's not going to perform at peak performance. And yeah, around 2 years ago, this time, my computer slowed down and it was all due to too many temporary files. Okay, I just wanted to come on and do a quick stream tonight. Okay. Yeah, Marmarski is out there. He's the first one there in the chat. That might be the person who's looking at me right now, other than myself. I just wanted to come on and give some quick reaction and ask the question: Has anybody heard anything from the NCAA? Because yeah, there was a build up to last weekend, the 6th and the 7th, and I think everybody was looking for something. Everybody was looking for something. Everybody was looking for a verdict and a yay or a nay. And as of now, we don't have anything. Okay. So yeah, so I'm gonna say a few words about that and I'll drop the link. Marmarski, you can come up. I was just watching you guys on Johnny's show on Sunday. I think I'm gonna try to make it this week because I'm gonna try to get my bike ride in on Friday. So hopefully I can join you guys this week. All right, let me play the intro. I'll say a few words about this. And Marmarski, I will drop the link. I'll probably shoot him a text as well to make sure he's there. And then if anyone else wants to come up and talk about this, you can also come up and talk about this. So let's go, Blue. I will see you on the other side of the intro. Please smash that like button. Also, please consider subscribing to the channel. Shout out to Bo Lytle. Respect is earned. I saw Bo Lytle over on Dennis Fithian's show earlier today. Okay, Marmarski, give me a second here. Let's go, Blue. All right, everyone. Welcome back to Big Discussions 76 Sports. My name is Dr. Anwar Youssef Dunbar. I am a Michigan alum. At my 5 to 6 years in graduate school were the last of the Lloyd Carr days and the coming of Jim Tressel and Troy Smith. So it was after Drew Henson left, it was pretty brutal. Aside from that 1 year when John Navarre's senior laden team beat Jim Tressel's Buckeyes, but Maurice Clarett was ineligible that year, and you always wonder if Maurice Clarett had played his sophomore season, what would have happened. But that's sports. Keegan, what's going on? Good to see you again. I saw you in Dennis Fithian's chat earlier. So I'm a Michigan alum, and I'm also a Michigan football fan. I think this might be my 5th year doing this here on this channel. So guys, yeah, I don't know what came out of last week's proceedings. I was in Dennis Fithian's chat earlier today, and I said, Dennis, what do you think about the proceedings from last week? And leading up to last weekend, there was a lot of, you guys better get ready for what the NCAA is going to do. You guys better get ready because the hammer's going to come down. Michigan should get the death penalty. Michigan this, Michigan that. You guys are cheaters, 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 cheaters. So so last Friday, I was looking at Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. I was looking, at the Detroit News or the Detroit Free Press to see, okay, what's the verdict? What's coming out of this thing? And as of now, there's nothing. I did have an exchange with John U. Bacon earlier today. I'm going to show that to you guys. John, I consider John to be the official. Actually, John and Angelique Shengilis of the Detroit News, I consider them to be you know, I was on a flight once. Let me tell the story. I was on a flight once, and this was before I was used to flying, and the flight attendant told me, if we were going through some turbulence, and the flight attendant told me if no, another passenger who was a flight attendant, she said, if the plane's up at 30,000 feet bumping around and your flight crew looks relaxed, then you should relax too. Okay. And if your flight crew is scrambling around worried, that's when you should worry and piss in your seat. Okay. So I like to think of John U. Bacon and Angelique Shengilis and other insiders the same way. If I don't see John U. Bacon worry, then whatever the Buckeye fans say, then it doesn't really matter. Okay. So me and John had an exchange earlier today on X. He's been really going hard in this Santa Ono business here. This is a tweet about, this reads, smart stuff. John says, smart stuff from a friend of mine, James Tobin, professor, award-winning author, and probably the most knowledgeable and prolific historian of the University of Michigan. Advice to the regions picking the next president focused less on resumes and more on character. So John's been a critic of Santa Ono after he left, and I tweeted to John underneath, not underwards. It's late. I've been early working out. I tweeted to John. I said, "Good morning, JUB. I trust your coverage and commentary. I think it's telling that you seem more focused on the Santa Ono business than the NCAA infractions committee and our football team." And he says, "Ha!" And I've met John before in person. He says, "Ha! Only reason is we know what happened with Ono. We don't know yet what the NCAA is going to rule. Once they do, whatever it is, I'm sure I'll comment. As it stands, everyone is just guessing, me included." Now, for those of you who saw my live stream a couple of weeks ago talking about John's predictions, he didn't think anything major would come out of this, but as of now, none of us know. Dennis Fithian on his show. We have a Buckeye right there in the audience. Brian Myers, salute to you. Let's see. Keegan, thank you for being here. He says, Marmar. Okay, so him and Marmar are saluting each other. Okay, so here we go. Brian says, question, if this were going to be nothing more than a slap on the wrist, why would what does the X mean? How do you say that? Oh, I see what you did there. I see what you did. Okay. Why would Shishigan not that's a Chinese pronunciation of the X. Why would Shishigan not have accepted it long ago to get all of this behind them? You know what, Brian, as uh John U. Bacon said, I don't think any of us know. But you know what? Dennis Fithian said something interesting earlier, okay, and that's that Michigan has already received some punishment. The national championship season, they came in and, well, maybe Tony Petitti did it. suspended Harbaugh for the stretch run, Penn State, Maryland, and Ohio State. But Michigan has already received some punishment. But that's something that Dennis Fithian said. So yeah, so nobody really knows. But Dennis did say earlier that initially the thought process was that whatever they decide, whatever's going to come of this, it would come within 30 days. And he shared with me, and someone else did by a tweet, text messaging, that the chairman of this infractions committee, the president, whomever, said it's gonna be 45 days. So now we're looking at being into the season for whatever the NCAA is going to decide. So all of us were looking for something right now, and it looks like it's going to. Okay, so here you go. Yeah, it has up to 90 days. The NCAA has up to 90 days. Buckle up, Buttercups. Okay, so we have up to 90 more days for Buckeye fan to run wild and speculate and hope for some sort of punishment of Michigan. Speaking of Buckeye fan, let's get a word from Ryan Day.
This is a tough team right here. We're proud to be from Ohio, and it's always been Ohio against the world, and it'll continue to be Ohio against the world. But I'll tell you what, I love those kids, and we got a tough team.
And I think since you guys are there in the chat, in honor of you guys, let's get a word from one Lou Holtz.
He has lost to Alabama, Georgia, Clemson, Michigan twice, and everybody that beats him does so because they're more physical than Ohio State. And I think Notre Dame will take that same approach.
Now, respect to Ohio State, they are the reigning national champion. Let's get one more word from, in honor of you guys, let's get one more word from Brady Hoke here.
But I was not a fan of that university in Ohio because my buddies were, so I had to be different.
Okay, so there were deliberations. There were deliberations last week, and nobody really knows what's going to happen right now. John U. Bacon didn't foresee any titles getting ripped, even though that's what Buckeye fan is hoping for, hoping and praying for. I did see this piece earlier, and this is entitled "Connor Stallions Arrives." Okay, this is not the one that I thought that I queued up, but long story short, we thought we would have an answer by now, but they're probably going to drag this out. That's not ideal. You want the kids focused on the season. You want the coaching staff focused on the season. But it seems as though something's going to be dropped when we all least expect it. But that happens when you're the Michigan football team. All right, Marmar, I'm going to drop the link so you can come up. I don't expect to. Anyone else can join us. If any Buckeyes come up, just be civil. But Marmar, here's the link. I'm going to read some comments here. Brian says, no question, defend yourself, but if the penalty was going to be light, why not just accept it a long time ago and be finished with the whole thing? Keegan says, where's Lou Holtz right now? Yeah, they did. Marcus Freeman had a coaching snafu at the end of that game, that would have sealed it. All of Lou Holtz's trash talking, but they didn't win that game. Brian says they won 2 Big Ten titles, 3 Rose Bowls, a Sugar Bowl, a Cotton Bowl, and a Natty. Not bad for 6 seasons. Everybody, please smash that like button. Bugsy's daddy says, Natty championship, you can't change that, but the NCAA might change yours. Okay, so we got some big time Buckeye smack coming in here. He's 0-4 to Michigan the last 4 years. That's not really good either. Ryan Meyer says, as this discussion would indicate, there are extenuating circumstances for those 3 years. Okay, so Brian, I think you're of the opinion that cheating had something to do with Michigan's dominance starting in 2021. I won't say last year's team was dominant. I was surprised that we got the win down in the snake pit. I was surprised you guys didn't pull down Khalil Mullings behind the line of scrimmage. I was surprised that Will Howard threw, was it 2 picks? So I wouldn't say last year's win was dominant. It was fun, but I wouldn't say it's dominant. But I think you're attributing cheating to that. I think all 3 of those years, well, 2021, 2022, we were just better, more physical. All right, Marsh coming up. What's going on, sir?
Hey, how you doing? Let me send this comment.
All right. Yeah, things are getting a little testy there in the chat.
Yeah.
Oh, we got Mazed Madman.
Yes, sir.
Hello, Mazed Madman.
What's up with it? Hey, how you doing,
I was watching you guys. Yeah, I was watching you guys on the Sunday
Yeah,
broadcast.
man. We just, the Buckeye fans, we love cooking them because they still delusional. You can't make them understand logic. Okay. So if the NCAA president said Michigan won it fair and square, and Connor Stelton wasn't there the rest of the season, and we still went on and won a natty, a 15-0 natty, why do they keep acting like they experts of knowing what's going on in these committee meetings? See, the Pete Thamel, ESPN, and the Buckeye people have been dropping this story. The NCAA really ain't came out and said anything. They still ain't said anything. It was just people leaking stuff, manipulating the masses. We talk about the masses of Columbus, and they did it. They riding with it, and they gonna continue to ride with it because they ain't beat Michigan in 4 years. We didn't make excuses on that 8-year run that Ohio State had. We didn't say they were cheating. We didn't do all that. We just took our lick and went on. See, that's the difference between Michigan and Ohio State. We can take our ass whooping and go on. Excuse my French. But Ohio State, they gotta cry about it. They gonna whine about it to the NCAA. Somebody cheated them. It's always somebody else's fault. We are the adults. We are adult fans, and it's time for the Buckeyes to accept responsibility and accountability, because that's the humane thing to do. I don't care about what opinions are. I'm talking about the humane thing to do, logically out your brain. Don't fill your brain with nonsense.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm going to read some more of the comments here. Let's see.
He said a throwaway comment that the NCAA. So coming from the guy that's over the NCAA, it doesn't matter. His comment doesn't matter. Yep. Again, delusional. The man that looks over the whole body of college sports, his words don't hold no weight. Yep. I got you, brother. Brian, you're a good one.
So he says penalties can be levied based on a preponderance of evidence. And then you said, listen again, you still have to fight for your innocence, period, no matter criminal or civil. Bugsy's daddy says, if you cheat, you lose. Jim Harbaugh. Brian Myers, no question, defend yourself, but if the penalty, okay, I think I read that one. Where's Lou Holtz? Okay, let's see. Daddy championship, you can't change that, but the NCAA might change yours. Okay, the operative word there is might. He's 0-4 against Michigan the last 4 years. That's not really good either. As this discussion would indicate, there are extenuating circumstances for 3 of those years, not when we played you guys. Let's see. I'm upset. Bugsy's daddy says no leaks equals Michigan is shitting their pants. Marmarski says Bugsy's, when did you get the inside scoop? Didn't know you were at the meeting. Maze Man says hello. Maze, school these fools. Egan says, aha, you still think we cheated? I can't see that emoji here. Right, Bugsy, you know exactly what Michigan is doing. Yep, got it. Everybody like, share, and subscribe. Marmarski says, Maze, thank you. Keegan, I can't see that box there. Brian says, absolutely, I think this is the whole cheating piece. Brian Myers says, the Silver Bullets played really well, but Day got in his own head with all of the pressure to win the game. I think that's referring to Michigan's miraculous win last season. Keegan says they didn't have Stallions 2 of the 4 years that we beat them. Or Marsky says, and Brian, that's why you're not an expert. Bugsy said there was no cheating in 2024. We just shit the bed. Talus says, I hate OSU with a passion. I lived there the Cooper years and our losing years. Go Blue Bosa. I'll read a few more. Brian says that the cheating made all of the difference is without question. Look at Hairball's record prior to the cheating. So Brian, okay, Brian, now we're gonna do history. Okay, so you know Jim revamped his whole coaching staff after the pandemic. I mean, he got newer, he got fresher and more innovative minds in. And he got JJ in there. Okay. So you cannot attribute the turnaround to look to sign stealing. I mean, sign stealing didn't impact our ability to run the ball at will on you guys in 2021. Sign stealing, can't account for JJ tearing you guys up in 2022. Sign stealing can't. Yeah, there's so many things that cannot explain. Okay, Mar, you want to chime in?
Yeah, it just didn't make the outcome of the game, and they still had to go out there and execute the plays. Just like when the I think his name is Stover, the tight end, tried to say we knew his play.
Hey, Stover, yeah.
Yeah, like stop it. Like May said, there's a lot of coping in here.
Yeah, I mean, sign stealing doesn't account for Mikey Sanders still knocking that ball away from K Stover. Okay, sign stealing doesn't account for those 2 long Donovan Edwards runs or the Colston Loveland touchdown catch. Sign stealing doesn't account for so many things. It doesn't account for those things. Let's see. Bugsy's dad says, Marmar, I don't know what this is referring to. Love you, man, but that quote is taken out of context. Brian says a throwaway comment by the NCAA president doesn't exonerate Michigan. See, I was going to say it the way he wrote it. Keegan says, well, I'm glad that it worked because we beat y'all twice in a row after Stallions left. I'll read a few more. Okay, it looks like we got, looking for the camera, M3.
Hello, gentlemen.
Thank you. What's up?
With the good doctor. First of all, thank you for bringing me on.
Thank you for joining us.
No doubt.
What's up, Maze?
What's good, Marmar? How you feeling? I just wanted to elaborate on something that Marmar brought up, right? Kate Stover did accuse Michigan of knowing a play. Here's the really odd part about, and I'm just gonna say this. I'm gonna get out of here, but I'll be in the comments, but I'll be watching, but I'll just hop down. But the odd part about what Kate Stover, I'm sorry, my microphone's over here. So can you hear me better now?
Yeah.
All right,
Good.
cool. The odd part about what Kate Stover said about that is they never run this play before, right? So when you do the inventory on that, if you've never run this play before, nobody's ever seen this play, right? And Michigan is accused of advanced scouting, meaning that they're sending people to games to advance scout your plays and signals. How then, again, just doing the inventory, we're just asking the logical questions. How then did they know that play that nobody ever saw?
Facts. Facts.
Again, we're just being logical, and this is from the horse's mouth. Cade Stover himself said this. This isn't something that we surmised, something that Connor Stallion said. This isn't something that this is Cade Stover, the person that the play was designed for, said this out of his mouth. By the way, I think Marmar also brought this up. Cade Stover had a touchdown in his hands in 2022 that would have, changed that game, right? Giving them some momentum. And Mike Sanders still makes a great athletic defensive play. If you watch that play, Mike definitely didn't know that play, for instance, because he was completely lost. And it was just his athletic ability that allowed him to recover and make a play.
And that's the point we making. That's
exactly.
the point we
I
making. Yeah.
I know that
no, you good.
I know that somehow they have to reconcile in their mind that Michigan cheated in order for them to have lost, because there's no way that, like the good doctor said, Michigan just made some wholesale changes, right? Got younger on the coaching staff, hired more brilliant minds, especially on the defensive side, right? Don Brown's way of doing things was not the way to go, obviously. And if we want to get into knowing signs, but I'm not even going to dive deep into that. I'm not going to cry about that, because you know what? It was time for Don Brown to go. And you know what? They did take advantage of Don Brown, in his defense. So I'm not even upset about that, but I do find it interesting that a play that was never run before, according to the main person in the play, and he used that as evidence that Michigan was sign stealing in an advanced way, when there's no way that anybody could know that. And then, of course, the athletic play that Mikey made is just another example of Michigan not knowing what was going on in that particular play, by the way. Also, why does no one ever just say to themselves, take a step back and say, hey, in addition to Connor Stallions being able to decipher signs and things like that, which he admitted to being able to do, right? Why aren't they giving the Michigan football coaches and the players credit for watching film, right? Understanding things on their own, right? In real time, right? It's not just about if somebody knows your signs, it's also about what they do with their off time to get better, right? When nobody's looking, when nobody's paying attention, what are you doing to get better? And I don't think that's talked about enough. It's all about these signs, and it's all because one program can't deal with the losing that they've been doing, right? They're habitual losers at this point. 4 seasons in a row. Last season, 3 touchdown favorites at home somehow lose to a guy that threw 2 interceptions and a total of 62 passing yards. And you have to deal with that. They have to reconcile that, and they're doing a poor job of doing it with the low-hanging fruit of, oh, look over there, they cheated. But again, Doc, thanks for having me up. I'm not gonna, hold you guys too much longer. I'm gonna get out of here. I appreciate you letting me up.
Okay, M3.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Marmar, I'm gonna read through some more of these comments. This one, I really loved that one by Brian. This one, you could feel the passion in this one. He says, "We're certainly upset about it because had Hairball not cheated, he'd have lost all 3 of those games." I don't know, Brian. I mean, Aiden Hutchinson was on a mission in 2021. CJ Stroud was running for his life. You guys couldn't stop the run. JJ was on fire in 2022. I mean, there's just so many elements to how we came out against you guys. I mean, the closest of those was probably when both teams were evenly matched with the 2023 game. That one could have gone either way. But anyway, let me read a few more of these. And Marmar, you want to share something about the recruiting. Okay, Hairball was 0-5 against. Okay, see, Brian, you can't. You're comparing apples to oranges here. He had, Don Brown was our defensive coordinator. Ryan Day had Don Brown. I think they coached together at one point at Massachusetts, right? So Ryan Day knew Don's scheme. Okay, Jim had to get that Baltimore Ravens run wall defense in there. Yeah, Jim, well, aside from the 2016 game where JT Barrett didn't make that first down, those were years of Jim, bringing his players in, figuring out the offense, and it wasn't until he went back to his formula that Michigan started being successful. So you cannot attribute that to sign stealing. Maze Madman. Hey, Marmar, the gentleman who was just here, M3, was this him? Maze Madman?
Yep, that was M3.
Okay, M3. Okay. Let's see. There's a lot of cope going on in these comments. I'll read a few more, then I'll give it to you. A lot of this, then that. SMH, facts. You lost. Deal with it. Jay Marion says Marmar and good doc salute. Jay Marion, salute to you. Marmar, what say you on this or the recruiting?
We picked up 2 recruits the last couple of days. I know the last one is last name is Blade, and I forget the young boy we just got yesterday. Last name. Let me look it up, or you can look it up.
Yeah, I've been seeing updates on X about players. Yeah, Michigan is they're still landing players. Let me see. It looks like this kid here, they're trying to get this kid. It's official visit weekend for 5-star running back Savion Hitter. So this kid is being recruited. I'm going to drop that and scroll through my feed some more. Let me see. It's Roman. Okay, I thought I retweeted a bunch of those, but I guess I didn't. But they're still getting recruits coming in, even with all of these shenanigans going on. They're still stocking the cabinet. Nope. Other than that kid, I didn't save anything. Let me look at my replies here. Roman. Okay, guys, I'm sorry. I need to keep a better record of this in my Twitter feed. Oh, lost my partner here. Good?
Yeah. So Vallejo and Mikael Blade is the two defensive guys we picked up. Like Maze Madman and Johnny and them touched on. He's the second coming up facing Graham. If you watch the highlight tape on him, he plays just like Graham, just like him. I mean, a spitting image of him. And then Blade is Mikael McGlade is Blade is he's a nice one too. He's off the edge, so Michigan just replacing kids that are gonna end up leaving here soon, and we building the trenches. That's all you need to beat Ohio State is the trenches, because they suffocate in the second half. They always collapse. Always. They used to collapse in the games that we were losing. We just couldn't capitalize on it because of the coaching.
Yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, I mean, and post COVID, we were just the more physical team. I mean, we were just the more physical team, and just wanted it more. I have it pulled up right here. Give me a second. Latest Michigan football news. Michigan football's recruiting efforts are active with notable commitments and visits occurring. The Wolverines recently secured commitments from 4-star edge rusher Mikael Blade and 3-star defensive lineman Alistair Vallejo for the 2026 class. They also have several high-profile official visits scheduled for June. I think that was visitors, including linebacker Nick Abrams. Additionally, Michigan has offered 2027 3-star safety Charles Woodson Jr., son of former Wolverine legend Charles Woodson. Yeah, key commitments and visits. Mikael Blade, a 4-star edge rusher from Chicago, committed to Michigan after an official visit. Alistair Vallejo, a 3-star defensive lineman, committed to Michigan over Notre Dame. And Nick Abrams, a 4-star linebacker, visiting Michigan, officially potentially committing on July 16th. Other notable news: Charles Woodson Jr. offered. Let's see. The NIL impact the House. First, the NCAA settlement is expected to bring revenue sharing, potentially benefiting Michigan's football program. And then official visits. Michigan is hosting several key recruits for official visits in June, including Zion Robinson. Okay. I'm gonna read some more of these comments. Marmara will hang out for another 10 minutes. That I gotta wrap up. Okay. Well, Brian Myers, I appreciate your activity in my chat tonight, even though you're wishing ill will on my team. Brian says, if you know what play your opponent is going to run, you can run a perfect counter play. It's a lot easier to execute when you know where the ball is going. Okay.
Pitt. I want to say something to that.
Go for it.
He's the only one that thinks that. These kids still got to go out here and play football, like physically, like mentally. They got to be aware of what's going on on the field. Ain't no sign helping you do that because you still got to execute. You physically have to go out here and execute a play. Just because you know what your receiver is doing, he can still make a move and get 10 yards on you. Period. Like, I don't understand why they keep saying this stuff, man. Like, They really out here really believing what their podcast is telling them. They pay money for this, Anwar. They be paying money to get false information. That's beyond wild to me.
Yeah, I think Coach Prime said the same thing. You still have to stop it. You still have to go out and execute the play. So yeah, you still have to whatever the other team is doing, you still have to stop it. Let's see. Pit Snipe Husker. Oh, we got a Husker here. Or is that a Michigan State Spartan? Good afternoon, Michiganders. Bugsy Daddy. Jim revamps his whole career after 2019 when they cut his salary in half. Well,
that's how you get the job done.
He had to rethink his approach.
Yeah, they made him rethink it. Can't hate that. If you ain't performing at work, they demote you.
And yeah. I mean, Jim is a fiercely loyal guy. I mean, I think he really didn't want to. He loved Don Brown. He didn't want to get rid of Don Brown, but when you hit rock bottom and you keep losing to Ohio State, Jim was humiliated after that 2019 loss, right before COVID. He and Josh Gaddis's first year, I remember that press conference afterwards. Someone asked him, "Do you want to win the game?" And Jim was humiliated after that game. So when you hit rock bottom, you have to make some changes. You have to think things out, and he made some key changes. Riper Mind says the NCAA doesn't care about signals being stolen. Sign stealing is legal. That's why the NCAA said fair and square. If you think we cheated, so what? I hope it hurts. Haha. Okay. Shout out to Bo Lytle. If you see fit, please consider smashing that like button. Help me grow my channel. I'm friends with Marmar. I'm friends with Johnny Olden, Maniac, all those guys. Please consider subscribing to the channel. Moose says, I see that bum Bugsy here. Okay, so all you guys have history. Barbar says facts, Mike Anderson.
Hey, put up the AJ comment.
Which one?
About AJ, he said, I'm pretty sure signs only tell you formation and run or pass. They don't tell you the exact play. That's a good one.
I'm looking for it right now.
AJ Southward.
Okay.
All the way down. He just dropped it too. He said, I'm pretty sure signs only tell you formations. Yes, that's a great comment. That just put him in the basket. They just put him in the coffin. It's over with. He just cooked them. Mays was cooking them. Johnny was cooking them. Moose was cooking them. Jay Berrigan was cooking them. They just can't handle the truth. Like the movie A Feel Good Man, you can't handle the truth.
Mason Blue Mike is here in the chat. Mike, good to see you, man. I was thinking about you the other day. He says, I was at that game. I was humiliated as well. That's the 2019 game. That was the last time Ryan Day beat Michigan. Now, I know Buckeye fans are saying if you guys had played the COVID year, we would have smacked you again, and that may be true, but that was the last time Ryan Day beat Michigan. You guys had a good chance to do it in 2024. I just can't believe you guys didn't tackle Khalil Mullings behind the line of scrimmage on that key play. So that was a tough loss for us in 2019. Let's see. I'll pick up here. Riper Mind says
we didn't cheat. Did we cheat in 24? Did we cheat in 24?
No.
They didn't cheat at all. They just mad. So, like I said, Anwar, they talk mess for 8 straight years. You can't be the pot calling the kettle black. And how don't we know you were cheating as well? You have Don Brown signs because Ryan Day used to work with Don Brown at UMass, so he knew how he ran his defense. That's why they kept running them crossing routes and killing us every time they ran that play. And they went for a touchdown every trip because he kept blitzing. You can't zero
Yeah.
blitzing. Come on, man.
Yeah. The revenge tour game, that was a master class in how to dissect Don Brown's defense. Johnny, I know you might be jammed up, but if you want to come and give the benediction, the link is right there in the chat. I'm gonna go through some more comments here. Brian Meyer says, Jay Marion, then surely you remember Tressel's 9-1 and Urban 7-0. Yeah, Brian, we all remember that. Moose says it's been like 6 years since Ohio State won a Big Ten title. Ryan says Ohio State calls a run right, and Michigan adjusts their defense to cover right. That doesn't have an impact on the play. Still got to execute it. Frank Archie says the implementation of the Beat Ohio drill and stronger emphasis on the game. Riper Mind says, and both left in shame. Jay Marion says, I do and I didn't cry and say y'all cheated, even though I know for a fact y'all were because I live here in Ohio. LOL at Brian Myers. Okay. Jay Marion says, and I was recruiting, and I was recruited by Urban to Bowling Green, and was recruited. I don't know. Yeah, that tense is messing me up. AJ Southward says, Brian Myers, do you realize sign stealing is a legal right? Ohio State has a sign stealer. They had Michigan's signs. Also, you are very naive. Let's see. Ace and Blue Mike. Brian says, it's not legal to go to games. Your team is not involved in and videotape the sidelines. That is not legal, and it's why Michigan is going to get smoked by the NCAA. This can go on all night. AJ says, I'm pretty okay. This was the comment we read. Reprimand says, Jay Marion, guess what? If we can steal your signals, we're doing it again. Sorry for your luck.
Yeah, period.
You said Brian stopped smoking meth crack.
Facts.
Mike was at the 20. Yeah, Mike was at the 2019 game. I'm a Michigan fan, dude. You know, Brian, the other thing is, you know, you can also, speaking of Jim Harbaugh hitting rock bottom, you can look at him. He aged from 2019 through the COVID year to 2021. Jim visibly aged. You can look and see he became more, got more of that grandfatherly appearance that he has now. So those losses were, yeah, that type of thing makes you rethink your approach. Let's see, Brian. I'll do a few more. For every play, I think I already read that one. Reprimand says, that's a brittle fan base that cares that much about signs. Moose is saluting Jay Marion. AJ Southward says, Brian Myers, you need to educate yourself on how signs work. I agree, Ripper. LOL, gotcha. Moose. Brian says, for an example of not being able to handle the truth, I direct you to every Cheat Again fan in here. AJ, work this fool. That's funny, AJ. I was just thinking the same thing about you. Okay. Michael Burtis says, a quick change of pace here. He says, ESPN has us power rated as number 13. Thoughts? That's about where Joe Klatt has us ranked. He had us ranked number 12 in his preseason
We just gonna have to
poll.
go out there and prove ourselves. That's it.
Yeah, in the 2021 season, Michigan wasn't ranked at all, and made their way
all
traditionally
the way up.
all the way up into the top four.
I was thinking about when we won the Natty, we were number one the whole time.
We were. I thought we were.
No, we was number one.
Ohio State and Michigan were 2 and 3 at one point, and I thought it was either the Ohio State win or the Big Ten title win that lifted us into number one.
No,
but I
think we were number one the whole time because we drew. Because Texas was 2 and Washington and Texas were 2 and 3, and then Michigan was 1, and then Alabama was 4.
Right. Okay.
Ohio State was 8 this year.
Okay. Brian says Brian's on fire tonight. He says coaches change jobs all the time. That's not cheating. Filming signals of your opponent's signs is cheating.
No, it ain't. You got to read the bylaws. Don't read the bylaws, man, because they want to know that. So what Connor telling me asked, what's the difference between filming and videoing or watching it on the TV? Because you watching the same thing. I mean, you watching it on video when you scouting. So they said, what's the difference between scouting and filming? That's what they want to know. That's what the lawyer asked. The NCAA, what's the difference? Because they both the same. If you deep dive into it, scouting and filming. Because when you scout, you gotta film. Rules 13 is not too high. I see what you did there, man. You want us to be lower so we can shock the world. I agree with that. I definitely do.
Okay. Marmar, do you have any other because these guys are going to comment all night long. Do you have any thoughts on any other closing thoughts?
Hold on. Let me say this. Let me say, hey, Blue Maniac, come up for a minute. Let Maniac come up here and cook real quick.
Oh, is Maniac in there? Okay, hold on.
Yeah, Maniac. Yeah, send him the link.
Gotta get Maniac up in here. Hold on.
Yeah.
All right, Maniac, there's the link.
Yes, sir. Let him come up in here and cook real quick. Hey, Maniac going off in the comments. Hey, there you go.
Yo, what's going on, gentlemen?
Cook them real quick.
Now listen. Listen. Whoever that dude that always you in the chat and the fan. See, this is what get me mad. I understand you could come in there as an opposing fan. I'm not saying don't come into Michigan, but they sound stupid. Just listen to what he's saying. If Ohio State runs right, you adjust your defense right. Man, you sound weird. First of all, everyone knows OSU is a 70-30 team. They passing the ball 70% of the time. So every other team that knows they're going to pass the ball, they cheating as well. These guys is so bitter, bro. I swear that after Michigan beats them, I'm pretty sure they beat their wives. That's how mad they get and how stupid they are. And on top of that, in 21, stupid, explain to me why was it that Michigan State was able to beat Michigan and not OSU? Connor Stallions called out that day. Please explain that. Like they don't look at all the coaches changes that were made, right? And even those coaches today, gentlemen, Mike McDonald is the head coach of the Seattle Seahawks, which is the highest level of football, the NFL. It gets no higher than that. Jesse Mintzer, his first season as an NFL DC, had one of the best defenses. So what are we talking about, man? Like, these dudes got to get over it. They really do. But you know what? They're going to be stupid. Then I'm going to be stupid. Then we're going to sound like we in the special ed class. Because I'm not going to sit here and let them come in these chats and say what they want. They sound stupid. He make no sense. 0 cents. He makes 0 sense. Nah, I'm not. I am angry, dummy. I am. Because of stupid people like you. Go to Buckeye chat, go to Buckeye school, go over there. How many wins Moore has? He's beaten your stupid coach twice. First, you said, oh, that was Harbaugh's game plan. Let me see him do it as a coach. Then he did it as a coach. As a 3-touchdown underdog. Come on, man. Stupid ass fan base. I'm tired of OSU. That's the bozo fan base. Stupid ass fan base.
All right, we got one right here.
Cook him, man. Cook him. Let him know, man. Cook him. I mean, sorry, maniac. Cook him, maniac. Cook him. Man,
yeah,
cooking too.
All right, Alec, AD.
Yeah, I'm going to say 2 things and then I'm going to hop off.
What's up, AD?
Yeah.
I want to address Maniac. As a man, the fact that you could just utter the words that men will go home and beat their own wives is reckless. It's super reckless. So I would caution your words regardless of whatever your enthusiasm is. That's super reckless. So let's be respectful. Okay? Everybody has a team that they like. That's fine. But let's not be reckless with what we're saying.
Hey, AD.
Yeah.
Hey, so you sound like a logical man. Deep down in your heart and your humane soul, do you believe Michigan cheated?
Yes. But
wholeheartedly, you believe it?
Yes. Well, I know they did. But regardless of whether or not they cheated or not, right? It's not affecting me.
I didn't say it was.
No, I'm just saying it's not affecting me. So I'm not super butthurt about it. But as somebody who's coached for 20 plus years, if you say to me, hey man, we're about to play this team in 2 weeks, and one of their coaches is on the other sideline recording stuff, I'm out. Whatever that is, we're not even going to get into all the other stuff. The fact that dude was on the Central Michigan sideline is enough for me.
But that's how I've been proven, though. They even brought that up in the year. They ain't said nothing about it. They ain't even proved that was common.
But it happened.
Okay. But
can we all be in agreement and agree with the fact that happened?
So AD, so let me break this down. So now in America, you have to prove your innocence instead of you got to be innocent.
The NCAA doesn't fall under the regular court of law. So no, that's not true.
It's the same concept. You still have to plead your case. Anywhere you go, if you're in a civil courtroom or you being sued for something, you still have to prove that, hey, they wrong for suing me.
Let me explain to you why you're wrong. This is a private entity that you entered into an agreement and the bylaws of that entity. It's not a court. It's not a hearing.
Did you read the entity?
I did.
Did you read the bylaws?
I did.
They didn't break them.
If
I could find a loophole, if I could find a loophole into a rule, I'm not breaking it.
It's illegal to advance to in-person advanced scout. That is a rule.
But he wasn't advanced scouting. He was sending people to do it.
No.
So
Wait. Hold on. We're talking about two different things. I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about him being on the Central Michigan sidelines.
That's what he's being accused of. Hold on, AD. That's what he's being accused of. That he was going to these games and doing it. No, he was sending people to go to games.
I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about.
You mentioned advanced scouting.
You're going too far. Stay with me here. Stay with me for a second. He was on an opposing team's sideline. Recording
one team, bro. One team. What are you talking about?
It doesn't matter.
Yes, it fucking matters, bro. He was at a fucking Central Michigan game, at a Michigan State game, so that means he cheated for every other game. You sound stupid, bro.
No,
that sounded stupid.
Okay, see, you're
that sounds stupid. Nah, I'm disrespecting every OSU fan. That fucking sounds stupid. You're stupid. You're stupid. That's it. That's how I'm doing it.
I'm doing that tough guy stuff. Fleck, you have a great evening.
Yeah, bye. Get out of here. Bye. Stop letting these OSU fans come to Michigan channels and dictate shit. They don't dictate nothing. Fuck out of here.
Because
nah, you sound stupid. You're talking about fool. He was on the sideline. A fucking Central Michigan game.
If the game doesn't matter, you moron.
Dummy. One game, you fucking idiot. What else games he was on the sideline?
If we're gonna use your
give me other games, stupid.
Let me ask you.
Shut the fuck up, you dummy. Fuck out of here. You fucking sound stupid.
Okay.
Sound like the OSU. Go to Buckeye school. Go to Buckeye school. Stupid. 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 I don't care why he is. He's an idiot.
He said, wholeheartedly, he believes Michigan cheated. He can't be
He's a fucking idiot. This stupid cheating.
Are you done?
They stupid, bro. They ignorant. So Michigan cheated. They saying that Michigan cheated.
If you cheat,
cheated once, you cheated. It don't work like that.
The same thing.
It doesn't work like that.
We did to you in
I'd love to be your wife.
We did the same thing, bro. We blew y'all.
Yeah, I love. Say that again. Say that again, stupid. Watch your mouth, you fucking cornball. Yo, listen. I'm sorry, bro. Listen. Just hear me out. This is what I'm talking about. People have to understand something here. Michigan is guilty of something. Michigan is guilty of something. What is it exactly? We don't know. Apparently, it was said that the only reason Michigan was a good team, or Michigan was good for 3 years, because we knew every single play of every single team we played. Just please, bro. You don't have to have an education to know how stupid that sounds. There's no way you can know every single play of every single team you play. It's impossible. Impossible. But you get these OSU fans come up here. I don't care who that AD dude was, if he was a Michigan fan or not. He's sounding stupid. You got to make sense. And if you're not going to make sense, I'm going to fry you. I'm sorry. That's what's going to happen. So I'm just tired of it already. These OSU fans, oh, you can't keep our names out your mouth. But look where they at. In the Michigan channel, trolling. And then they trolling ignorantly on top of that. Like, nah, bro, enough is enough, bro. I'm tired of them. I don't like none of them. I've mentioned it many times, and I don't care about none of them. They could take it how they want it. That's it, bro. Enough is enough, man. Clown. Yo, Brian, call up, stupid. Call up. You tough in the chat, but you won't call up. See, that's another thing. These Ohio State fans, they real in the chat, they're hiding, but they won't call up. You know why? Because they got no bass in their voice. They sound like a 11-year-old virgin, and that's what it is. They just soft, a fucking bozo fan base, always crying over everything. That's all they do. A OSU fan, they crying about noon games. They crying about Connor Stallions. They cry about flag planting. They cry about Oregon finding a loophole in the rule. Cry, cry, cry. That's all OSU does is cry. And that's a fact. They cry about everything. It's just, and it's tiring already, bro. Like, be a man. How you a grown man and you talking about cheaters? You're cheaters. That's what 10-year-olds say, man. Come on, be a grown man. Michigan is guilty of something. I would say that. I'm not going to sit here and say Michigan did absolutely nothing. But to say that Michigan was good only because of Connor Stallions is an ignorant statement. We just proved to you we brought in 2 young defensive coordinators with the amoeba scheme from the NFL. And look how successful they are in the NFL after Michigan. Is Connor Stallions helping them?
And then look what the old school dude came in and did to him. He did them worse than the last 2 defensive coordinators.
Now, I ain't gonna pop no veins, stupid. This is what I do on the regular. I disrespect your fan base, you moron. You're gonna pop a vein. You probably your mother probably still breastfeeds you, you dummy. It's time for you to get breastfed. Yeah, yo, I don't like OSU fans, bro. I really don't, man. I really don't like them. It's an ignorant fan base. All they do is troll. They cry baby. So I'm not gonna sympathize with them. You know, you're gonna come up here, speak facts. Don't give me your emotions. Oh, you cheated. Just listen to what he say. They can explain, guys, that in 21, Michigan State, right, beat Michigan. So tell OSU fans to explain that loss. What happened that day? We didn't know they plays. Connor Stallions was sick that day. I need to know. Since they know everything about this, they know absolutely everything is gonna happen to Michigan. Absolutely everything. Explain to me, OSU fans, in 21, why did Michigan lose to Michigan State? Explain that.
They can't explain anything. The only thing that comes out their mouth is you cheated, and they can't explain. He talking about you read the bylaws, but the bylaws simply said that what Connor did was just exploit the rule. He didn't break the rule, and he exploited it because he read it, he broke it down, and he said, "Oh, I can do this." Like in the documentary, he was making pictures of all the signs of things. That's not illegal. If you're doing that, that's not illegal. Why is that illegal?
Yeah, it's because, again, OSU fans, all they listen to is Buckeye Scoop. So they run in here, right? Because according to OSU, they never lost the game. That's another thing, right? They never take any responsibility. Like, yo, you know what? They were just a better team. It was because of the scheme. The scheme is the reason we beat them. We didn't really beat them. It was Ryan Day. He was playing into your strengths. You threw the ball 33 times, stupid. But again, it's just, they got to find a way to find some kind of comfort and whenever they suffering. Yo, take it. We lost. We had 2 separate. Y'all beat us 8 straight times, 2 separate times in the 17-year span. And we had to stay 10 toes down. You lose 4 games, and oh my, it was Connor Stallions. It was Ryan Day, stupid play. This is why I can't respect them. And I never will. And this is easy work for me. And I'm going light on them. It's a retard fan base. All of them. All of them are dumb.
Hey, they just can't handle. They just can't handle what they dished out, man. You can't be a hypocrite. Can't be the pot calling the kettle black.
Oh, they didn't execute. Here we go. Oh, they didn't execute. That's why we lost. You still gotta. All right. So you just answer your own question, stupid. So the reason Michigan lost to Michigan State is that you still gotta execute. There you go. So if Michigan State could have done it, you could have done it too. Yo, this is this fan base, they got the IQ of a microwave, man. I'm just telling you, man. It's a stupid. They just say dumb shit, bro. I'm telling you.
Dumb. It's off the wall.
And it's fun. Listen, I'm gonna say this, and before I keep it moving, because I got a show at 9:00. Listen, first
Is
of
it
all,
the
shout to
boxing
my brother.
show?
Shout to my brother here. My
Facts.
two brothers here, man. Big discussions and more. Thanks for having me on. Listen, this is what
Oh
I'm
man, I
gonna say.
love when you come up.
This is what I'm gonna say, man. Do not, I repeat, do not let OSU fans come to our channel and dictate. So all my Michigan fans in the chat, stay on their neck. Just tell them 13-10, 13-10, 4 in a row. They haven't
And
had a run like we had. They can't win the Big Ten title no more. They so good. All these 5 stars can't even make it to a Big Ten title, right? It's just their joke, man. They had a lucky run. They better thank the football gods that the playoffs were expanded last season. Because if it was still a 4-team playoff, they would have been playing us in the Chicken Nugget Bowl. So
facts.
they can say what they want. This season, humble pie with extra whipped cream is coming for them. And it's going to be
And
lovely. And they're going to blame Connor Stallions. They're going to say it's in effect for 21, 22, and 23. You scum fans, you guys are just in denial. It's just you can't win with them. All right, OSU, you the greatest program in history.
facts.
You're better than
And
Alabama.
Maniac, before you leave, elephants don't listen to the opinions of ants. Remember that. Elephants are not concerned with the opinions of ants.
Yeah, exactly. And exactly, Frank. See, Frank know his shit. I be seeing him in the comment sections. Bro, you can't. It's just impossible, guys. So you telling me, right? A team has upwards to 300 plays on average, even more. So you telling me, guys, the week of the game, you're memorizing 300 plays of your opposing team, right? And you remember, this was no huddling. I mean, there was really no huddle. There was no headset. So remember what the teams do. Before you snap the ball, they look pre-snap. They look at the defense. The quarterback will look at the sidelines. The coach will see, okay, this is the defense they running. All right, they running cover 2. All right, so we doing bloom, blank, blank. They give you the signal like with 6 seconds left. So now with 6 seconds left, oh, they running Y2 banana. Y2 banana. Now, yo, Y2, bro, just it doesn't make sense, bro. It just doesn't make sense. And you know what? That's whatever's gonna make OSU feel good, then so be it. Because you're not gonna convince them, and they're not gonna convince me. So I know at the end of the day that Michigan won those games fair and square. Because the proof is, gentlemen, every single one of those games, right? Let's talk about 21 to 23, right? Every single one of those games, gentlemen, it was a 1-score possession in the 4th quarter, right? Brian execution. So Michigan executed late in the game. So how is it that we cheating? We know all they plays, exactly where they going, but CJ Stroud's throwing for 400 yards. This shit just don't make sense, guys. It don't make sense. But again, it's OSU. What do you expect? The sore loser fan base. We own the head-to-head, more national championships, more Big Ten bro. We own them. That's little brother number 2. Michigan State and OSU. Little brother 1 and little brother 2. What happened? And that's that, gentlemen. But anyway,
A and B.
thanks
They
again.
A and B. Yeah, A and B. Little brother A and little brother A, little brother B.
All right, thank you, Maniac.
All right. Thank you,
All
gentlemen.
right, man. Yeah, I love you, brother. You doing the boxing thing?
Marmar, you want to give the benediction?
Hey, all I'm saying is that we beat y'all. That's it. It's no point to keep crying about it. Y'all come in these chats and want to throw your little fits and throw your little words around. They don't hold weight this way. This the M. You see it. We got the M. You see my man Anward in the Michigan. You know what I'm saying? And that's all I'm saying is that we them. and they can't stand it. You had your turn, but we showing you how real people do it. Forget all the signs. Y'all had our signs, but we didn't cry about it. We didn't go to the NCAA about it. We got better. We got better. We learned how to beat y'all, and now we beating y'all. Y'all mad. Y'all gonna keep it in your head that we cheated. So that's all I got to say. Nobody cares.
All right, I'm gonna echo Riper Mind's comment here. Good stream later, and go Blue fam. Yeah, good stream tonight. We got Marmar Maniac, Buckeye Alex came up for a little bit. Mason Blue Mike showed up in the chat for the first time in a while. Who was the gentleman that came up? M3. His official name is what's his official name? We got Moose.
Yeah, Maniac, Maze, JOJ made an appearance.
Jay Marion, yeah. Maze, Madman, Brian from the Buckeye fan base. You kept my chat lit up all night long. So salute to everybody.
And then he dipped out when he heard facts. He dipped out. He ran. That's what people do when they hear the truth. They run.
I know AD. I know Buckeye Alex personally, so I'm going to hear about this afterward. Alex,
I feel you.
If you're still out there,
just let AD know.
That's MO. So
just let AD know you can't come in here when we got dragons. You know what I'm saying? We got dragons, man. They ready to shoot fire, and if you ain't ready to get that fire shot at you, you better chill out because nobody listening to y'all, man. And then you gotta come to Ann Arbor this November. All the players in that locker room hearing everything these Buckeye fans are saying.
that's a good point. Regardless of what happens, you guys still got to come to the big house in November, so that the game's still going to be played. So, AD says, Maniac, apology for the comment I made. That's not who or what God wants me to be. That was out of character, and I apologize. Best of luck to you. Okay, all right. And Alex, that's Maniac's. That's his modus operandi. He brings the passion everywhere he goes. I'm not co-signing all the the 4 and 5 letter words, but that's his MO. So next time you guys are on the panel together. All right. Passion. This rivalry is passion. It's passion.
Yeah, so straight passion. Yeah,
so no.
But like I said, I'm just gonna say this again, because I want this to hit home. For 8 years, me, you, and every Michigan fan in this chat had to sustain the verbal abuse from these Buckeye fans. We had Buckeye fans coming up to you saying, when y'all gonna beat us next? When the next time you gonna beat us? When the next time you gonna beat us? We kept hearing that for 8 straight years. And we just kept taking. We didn't engage in them. Now the last 4 years, this is 8 years of build up, and we letting it all loose on you, even though you won a natty. But that natty, just like the 2020 COVID year Big Ten, was handed to you because y'all cried. Then they set Oregon up because they knew Oregon wouldn't be able to beat you in the Rose Bowl. They knew that. The committee knew exactly what they were doing. Period. Talking about y'all had the best run in college football history, but like Mays and Johnny and the rest of them said, it's going to be another team to do the same thing. It's going to be another team to go in that 12-man playoff and win all 5 of their games. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
So keep crying. I ain't got no tissue for you.
Okay. Well, guys, let's end on a positive. Does anybody want to buy a book? I wrote a sports-related book about what sports teach you about life, success, and failure. I'll keep the spiel short, but this is available on Amazon. The hardcover is going for $35 on Amazon. For my YouTube subs, I'll sell it for $25. Just send payment to that ticker. Anything on that ticker right there. The shipping is built in. paperback is going for $27 on Amazon. I'll sell it for $22. My YouTube subs. It's a feel-good story about what sports teach you about life. A lot of the same lessons that the Wolverine players and the Buckeye players are learning every year at their respective for the respective schools. Sports teach you a lot. Sometimes you don't win. Sometimes the other team is better. But you learn through losing, just like Coach Harbaugh did. And sometimes you have to change your approach to beat your rival. So, with that,
and that's the fact that nobody is paying attention to. He went to Jim. He went to his brother John and asked John, "What do you do? What do you got to do? What do I got to do to beat Ohio State?" He said, "Well, I'll send you Mike McDonald." Mike McDonald got it done. Okay, then they went to Vanderbilt and got Jesse Minter because he was part of the Raven tree. Then Jesse Minter left. Then we was like, oh, we in trouble. And then we brought in Wink. It took Wink to adjust, but when he adjusted, it was shut down. You wasn't able to do nothing. And you can see that even in the Indiana game, we shut them down in the second half. We shut Ohio State down. We blew the doors off Northwestern. We dominated Alabama. And we dominated Alabama without Grant, Johnson, Loveland, and some other people that set out. We had 26 players that either transferred or set out. And we still went to Florida in the whatever bowl it's called and dominated Alabama, just like we did Ohio State a month prior. So they can say, oh, whatever they got to say. We built different now. We come to play. Yeah, we started off the season last year bad, but hey, listen, he still finished 8-5, and Ohio State lost to the worst team in the worst team that came into Columbus out of their whole schedule. The biggest upset of the year. The biggest upset of the year. You can't compare no other team no other game of the season with the biggest upset, and that was Michigan going into Columbus and setting up real estate. And we got a new home. That's Michigan. That's Ann Arbor #2. And in Columbus, they drink soft drinks. They don't drink pop. They drink soft drinks because they soft.
Do you have another water?
I heard that on Johnny's panel. Speaking of which, I forgot to mention that Johnny Olden stopped through the chat. So much love and respect to the GOAT, Johnny Olden. All right, Marmar, I gotta wrap up, eat something, and then get in bed so I can go to work in the morning. But thank you, sir, for helping. For riding shotgun.
Appreciate you.
Helping the channel grow and encouraging Maniac to come over.
I got you.
All right.
I got you. We're gonna get this. We're gonna get all the Michigan channels buffed up, especially the brothers, because we out here building contact. We ain't out here doing silly stuff, and we're gonna keep building each other's channel up. I'll let people know about Johnny and May's show. So. And even when we play the video game, I get people to subscribe to it. So I'm gonna do the same for you, and we're gonna continue to build. And by this time next year, we should be like the 14,000 subscribers.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Keep your eyes open. Keep your eyes on social media for news, and watch Johnny Bacon and Angelique Shangilis and Dennis 50, and I guess more than Buckeye Scoop. So. And that's no shade to Buckeye Scoop, but apparently, I'll just leave that there. Everybody, go blue. As always, remember that your attitude determines your altitude. Always try to do your best. Take care, and I will talk to you the next time, guys. We're here to have fun. This is about passion.
Go blue.
We're passionate about our programs. So
go blue.
We're passionate about our programs. Oh, thank you, Mason Blue Mike. Also, Isaiah Hole. He's a quote unquote insider. So everybody have a good night. And we'll talk to you the next time. And everybody here knows Johnny Olden goes live on every Sunday.
Tomorrow we have a show if you want to check it out.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to do my bike ride on Friday so I could join you guys on Sunday.
Nah, tomorrow's Thursday. The Voice of Michigan College Football with the co-host of Johnny.
Johnny.
That's on at 8 tomorrow. Michigan with TJ Ronan. Johnny picked up a spot, and then on Fridays you got Maze Madman, Bluetooth. He just going over what he went over in the week. But it's a call-in show. He let people get up and cook, and then Johnny do one Saturday, just talking about what's going on in the Michigan sphere. And then on Sunday, you got the Johnny call-in show where people can get up there and cook each other. And then Mondays you got Mays. Tuesday you got the Voice of College Football, and then Wednesday you got you. So we're gonna keep it. We're gonna keep it in rotation, and we're gonna keep building each other up, and that's all it's about. Um, yeah, man. Big ups to everyone. You, Maniac. I mean, yeah, Maze, Maniac, Johnny, TJ, all the people that I know. And keep doing your thing. And we got a young man by the name of Thunder Redman show. His name is Tim, but we call him Big Tim. People check that show out too. He a up and coming young man out of Detroit. He 18. He ain't doing nothing. He not running the streets. He's building content. I'm proud of that. I like that, and we need to keep encouraging that young man to cook, and he do cook. So I'm proud of that young man. So we're gonna build everybody up to where everybody just come to us for information. So
Okay.
yeah, man, I appreciate it all.
All right, everybody, have a good night, and yeah, we'll talk to you the next time. Go Blue. Bye-bye. Actually, you know what? Let's get one word from Jim, since we talked about him so much. I want to throw in one word from Jim before we go. And I'll wrap this up. Where?
With the right approach, with the right work ethic, with the right team first mentality and teamwork, that you can make anything happen. You can bring anything to life.
All right, that was Jim after all the losses to Ohio State. He was aged there. All right, everybody, have a good night. We'll talk to you the next time. Stay safe out there. Bye-bye.